flag of the United States of America and to the
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, we establish the quorum. Ladies and gentlemen, in your packet you'll find the minutes of the meeting of July the 14th. If you have read those, what is your pleasure? If you're not, if you need a minute, go over them, please do so.
I think it's referencing that I did not vote, and I did vote. I just voted no.
Okay. We'll change that.
You got that?
Okay. I wasn't.
I don't want it to look like I just abstained from voting.
Right. Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah, just a minute. What is your pleasure as to the acceptance?
I make a motion we accept it with the correction.
Right, okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any additions other than that one or changes? Hearing none, all in favor of this acceptance with the change, please say by raised hand. All opposed? Motion carried. In your package, there was a 2014 millage rate property tax. We're to vote on its acceptance tonight. The new millage rate for the year.
Mr. Mayor, point out that that millage rate is lower than
I wanted
it
to
was
discuss
last.
that, but we can't discuss it after we vote on it, right?
No, you can make a motion and a second, then you discuss it.
That's thanks. Make a motion to accept it.
Motion to accept. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, now we can go into any discussion y'all might have.
Why did it drop a tenth of a mil?
Having to do with the way the county, as I understand it, does their calculations. Ours is pretty much going to be ours will be the same, but the way they determine their millage rate had changed.
Well, the last information we got from the county still showed 2.8 mils that I remember us talking about.
Yeah. This did come straight from the county at 2.7. Yeah, that's correct.
So that's got something to do with population, I guess, and Noonan or somebody else got our tenth.
No.
It shifted somewhere.
Yeah. Same thing happened with our lost ones. Grateful, Clayton County, Coward County, Union, and Snowy, those went up, and small towns went down. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of acceptance, please signify by raised hand. Opposed, same sign. Unanimous. Speed right through this. At this point, we are already down to the public comment section of the agenda. We're starting on the back row. Got anything you'd like to
No,
talk
I have
about?
nothing to add.
Got 3 minutes spilled guts.
I only need a minute. I went on website to look to see about the audit, if it had been done, so I could look at some figures, and Sharpsburg's not there for the last 2 years, and I know they don't have to do an audit return but every 2 years, but the 2011 or 12 is not showing.
It's complete and been turned in.
It has to be, so then I can get those figures. The last time I requested them, you said you weren't through, so I can get them now.
Yes,
Okay, great, thank you.
yeah, 11 and 12.
Yeah, that's all I want.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
well, no, you didn't specify.
No, wait, 13.
No.
Okay, no, those aren't completed.
13 is still not ready.
Right, 11 and 12 you can
11 and
get.
12 is.
Okay,
They just slow getting to the site. But
Okay.
they've been turned in.
thanks.
I don't follow.
That's it, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Mr. Bridges?
I guess I got 3 minutes, huh? I just, I asked to be on the agenda and had, things to discuss, but apparently you guys don't want to discuss things, so. I mean, I've been emailing back and forth. I'm not sure where we did discuss things, but you mentioned that we discussed things, and we haven't. And I don't know why I would be denied. I mean, Donna, did you not receive notification in time? So why can't I be on the agenda?
Why you was denied, Mr. Bridges, is that when we asked for you to be specific, the two items that you mentioned, and you made the comment, and others, we wanted you to be more specific about what and others were. You did come back with that. And also the two items that you did mention, we talked about it both in the public hearing and at other times. Nothing has changed there. If you have something different, like I said, we'd be more than glad to go over it with you, just like my last email to you said, and the one before that.
Do you mind telling me when we went over 3101-1 of the International Building Codes? We've not gone over that.
That part was gone over back long ago in the meeting here. Now, what,
Don't believe so.
all right, what are you referring to in the 3101-1?
Well, you seem to know that we went over it, and I mean, that's what, I just copied and pasted what Donna sent me. I was just asking about different things, and this is in regards to temporary buildings.
Right.
I mean, you think, obviously, that we're talking about bathrooms. I know we can't discuss that, so we're talking about other stuff here. We're talking about temporary buildings and,
What is the wishes of council? To have an addition to the minute, to the agenda, has to be a motion, second discussion, and voted on by council to put that part on the agenda.
make a motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? And the motion is that we listen to that part that he is referring to right there.
Correct.
And nothing else. Is that the motion? Is that the second?
To listen to whatever it is he needs addressed.
Okay. All in favor?
I mean,
signify-
when you say and nothing else, I don't know if that means that like nothing else can be brought up at all, or if there could be another amendment
No,
to.
Mr. Bridges alluded to the fact that we can't talk about certain items, and that's what I was talking about. All in favor, signify by raised hand. We have one abstention for obvious reasons. Okay, now, go ahead.
Okay, certainly. We were just talking about the frigid frog, as far as accommodating them and helping them out and getting them up and running. And that was the last meeting. I said, what about, how does that work when we're trying to, get some help as well in my buildings? And you said, well, we'll have to address that later. And you guys sent, I asked in an email, what's the permitted use classification? I can't find any kind of shaved ice shop or mobile trailer setup or anything in the different zoning and
It's not
different
going to be
things.
that specific as to a shaved ice. It's going to be a retail type establishment. And it is there as a temporary structure for less than 180 days. Therefore, it qualifies as a temporary structure.
And that's why I want the discussion on 3101-1, because that's exactly what it says, but it's under the guise of, these are construction sites that have temporary buildings, that they don't make any reference whatsoever to a permanently temporary business, which has been going on for 3 years.
Read the first paragraph. It
Excuse
says
me.
very
I
distinctly
wasn't
temporary.
through, but that's.
Temporary building, and it is in all respects a building. The fact that it's a manufactured building has nothing on the reality. It is still a building. So it's a temporary building there for business reasons, less than 180 days. And we've gone through everything with them. They went through Safe Build, did their inspections, the county did the health inspections. Everything was inspected, everything was passed, all permits. It was done right by the book, so.
Well, I asked for the permits and I haven't seen any permits. I mean, you gave me a copy of their business license, but I asked specifically for permits as it is listed in the documents that you sent me. It says they would be permitted, and I hadn't seen that.
The
So
business license is within
No.
itself a permit,
no, that's not what it says here,
that's what I'm saying.
sir.
That's what I'm telling you.
I know what you're telling me, but what you're telling me and what's written is two different things. And this is scope and administration, looking under international plumbing codes as well, talking about a temporary services and different things. The utilities, give permission temporary utilities for an installation has been fully completed. So I mean, these are things that are talking about construction sites. With the plumbing going on, you can have a temporary building. With the building construction going on, you can have a temporary building. But it says nothing about a permanently temporary building. That doesn't reference that. I mean,
All I
that's,
can tell you is that's up for interpretation by the council, and that's what we interpreted as a temporary business, less than 180 days. Everything was inspected, passed, therefore it is what it
is
is.
that we or is that you?
That's me, I did the interpretation.
You just
If
said
wanna-
we.
If you want to poll council, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Code enforcement, that's what they say.
All right, well, I'd like to see the permits, the reports, and all that.
No,
That's
what I'm going to tell you, Mr. Bridges, is we've given you all this.
that's
If
right.
you want to question it,
That's
don't
right.
question our interpretation. You get someone of authority to interpret it for you, not our interpretation, because apparently you're not liking ours.
But my interpretation doesn't matter.
I know.
I'm challenging
You go
your
to-
interpretation
You go to
because.
someone that's certified to do that interpretation of those ordinances.
What about
Not
Mr.
ours.
Epstein? Where is he? He would be a good one. Seems like Mr. Muntz served his time and he's no longer, qualified. So you got another one, bring him up here and let's have discussion.
We're not going to pay to bring them up here. If you want someone to interpret what's in the code, you get somebody and you pay them to interpret it for you. We've got our interpretation and we acted on it accordingly.
And then what do I do when I get somebody to interpret the code? What are you gonna do with it?
Bring it back in and talk to me.
Okay, well, what about Mr. Epstein? He's the one that you're gonna go with his expert opinion, correct? Well, why don't we just get him to make a final thing? Because he wasn't here when Frigid Frog went in. We've already gone through Mr. Munt, and now we're at Mr. Epstein.
No, we're fine with his interpretation of what he gave to us. Now, please go to something else, because that's a settled issue. But Frigid Frog meets all requirements. I don't know what you got in your bonnet about them. They run a nice business, clean business. They've done everything right.
So everything's safe, everything's perfectly fine, legal, no potential hazards, issues, nothing. It is, in your opinion, it is a perfectly safe establishment. Is that correct? That's correct. And that's the view of the council and everybody.
Can I say something more? If you see something unsafe, report it, and we'll send a code enforcement up there to check it out. That's how
Sure.
you handle that, Joe, and you know that.
No, I'm asking, you
But
guys
you
have
know-
interpreted this in a totally bogus way, in my opinion. I mean, these are construction codes. These are
So
not.
that is our interpretation. If you want to do different, I told you what to do.
Okay. Well, that sounds good because I've got a temporary service up on that lot and I think this will be good. Like I said, it's kind of a win-win. If you guys are gonna hold firm to that, then I'll be glad to, put some temporary structures up there and we'll have, that's a great avenue for me to, recoup some of my lost revenue up there, so.
That's not a temporary structure. That's a permanent structure, been there for many years.
The temporary pole?
What are you talking about?
He's talking about his corner lots, the field.
Wait, now, what about the temporary?
I've got an electrical service out there.
What about
So,
it?
sir?
What about it?
So I'm gonna put some temporary buildings up there and open up some shops. If that's perfectly legal within you guys' frame of mind, I'm all for it. I think it's great.
Meets all the qualifications that we've put on, and stipulations we've put on the Frigid Frog.
Certainly. Fair is fair. I don't mind. That sounds good. As far as the other ordinance in that you sent me, the environmental side, I didn't really, obviously the porta potty is part of the requirements, but that was, you say that in every, and I just wanna make sure, so if I go put a temporary structure up there, you're not gonna yank it out from under me. Let's see, this section, shall not apply to construction sites. So this is for the porta potty. Unless otherwise stated in section, no portable toilet shall be placed within 100 feet of resident property line. For festivals, special events, the town may issue permit to property owner allowing portable toilet for maximum 3-day period. All right, so I don't know,
What section is that, I'm sorry?
that's what you sent me.
I know, but what section are you
Purpose
reading?
section.
36-120 portable toilets.
Thank you.
3 days?
Go ahead.
180 days? A little bit.
Read it again, and you'll see that for a special permit, like for a festival,
Mhm.
that's pertaining to the 3 days, and you can, in essence, go within that 100 foot, within that 3 days, if, in fact, you're going reading, if they've been pumped out properly according to the ordinance and according to the code. Go ahead and read the rest of it.
Yeah, in every case, property owners shall remove the waste contained in the portable toilets by appropriate industry standards, not less than once a week. Town may require a different timetable for portable toilet waste removal for health and sanitary reasons. I'm just trying to get your interpretation. So if I go spend money and I go put something up there, and I also have to have a bathroom, and I do that, then I'm following your guidelines. That's the whole problem with a lot of the he said, she said. I want to make
But
sure.
with all the trouble to do that, you might want to come in here and lay all the plans out for your business license for those businesses, so that we
I
can.
wouldn't be operating business though. I'm just going to lease them out.
I still advise you to do it in advance, to come in here and give us all the specifications prior to, just like Bridget.
It'd be just
Clark
like Bridges Brawl. Yeah.
did. We need to know that.
Sure.
Type of business, what they're going to vend, hours of operations, we need to know all that.
Now that wouldn't be up to me.
If you're going to be getting the permits in your name, it would be.
I just told you I'm not getting a permit. I'm not going to operate a business. I'm just going to put a temporary structure up there and lease it out, and that would be up to. Are you going to restrict hours of the day and different things, or is that something that y'all do?
We'll look into it, that's all we can say. Put your plans before us, and we'll look it over and we'll advise one way or the other.
Sure. In the future, how should I go about, I mean, is it the, whose determination? I mean, there's nothing in the codes that say, if I want to be on the agenda and I want to talk about the sky, is it your, do you have the authority to say, no, we just don't want to talk about that today? Is that something, I mean, if that's in the code and I just misread it, I'd be glad to,
You might not have read from the right thing. To be on the agenda is a privilege that the council can grant. It doesn't have to be just because you want to be on the agenda. We've been very, very lenient to go over the same things many times over and over again. And we just don't want to beat those same horses again. That's why we said that.
well, we haven't come to any resolution on anything, to be honest with you, so I mean, that would lend itself to more discussion, would it not?
What did I advise you to do, Mr. Bridges?
I'm not really sure.
I'm sure you remember that I asked you on many occasions, both in writing and here, that if you'll come in and sit down, we can work out a lot of this stuff, that it doesn't have to come before all this hullabaloo at a meeting.
But that's the whole thing, is this is a council decision, it's not your decision.
Now, a lot of things that come before the clerk and before the mayor, and we discuss it before it comes out here and goes before the general public. And I still offer that to you at any time.
Well, if you bring in Epstein and your attorney, I'll be glad, and the council, I'll be glad to come up here and we'll work, things out however you want to do it. But I want everybody to be involved, because it's not your one vote that makes it.
It's not time to get them all involved.
Sir?
When it comes time to get them involved, we will. The council knows I don't keep anything from them, but they don't. So you bring it before me, we'll discuss it, but I'm not gonna have all these other people there now.
Why would that be? It seems like a waste of time to double up on everybody's time.
I'm just telling you what it is, sir, and that's the end of that problem.
Yeah, I understand. All right, well, in the future, I'm gonna continue to want to be on the agenda. So wherever it is that states that I can't, be on the agenda for a topic reason, I need to know that, because I just don't think that's right. You guys are here to serve the public and the taxpayers, and we have things that come before. I mean, how many agenda items do you have every month?
The number doesn't have anything to do with it, but it's the continuous back and forth, and arguing here. We don't want to do that. That's not the way to handle a meeting. Now, to answer your question though, if you've got something that you want to bring up on the agenda, you let us know. If we say, would you be a little bit more specific, please give us that. That's all we're asking.
That's all I did.
No.
You didn't ask until today, this afternoon, for other parts. That's in your email. I can be glad to show council.
Yes, you're the one that said, and other parts.
And you didn't ask for clarification until about 3:50 today.
Okay,
So-
all right. Like I said, we're not, I've been told, we're not gonna argue about it. You come.
I just want to make sure everybody understands what goes on. That's why I don't want to be in a room just one-on-one, because I want everybody to understand what goes on and how things get twisted. And I just don't appreciate that. I don't like that.
That's what I'm telling you to do. If you want to make an appeal to this council right here and now, you ask whatever kind of question you want to ask.
I've been on, you so graciously allowed me to be on the agenda, so I've said what I want to say tonight. In the future, I don't want to come up and have this whole, 5-minute debate about what's, allowable or not, or how we're going to do this, and that's wasteful time.
Let me ask you, so you're telling me that you're not going to come discuss issues with me that is in the best benefit of you and this town?
Certainly I will do that, right here. I'm right here right now.
No, in my office, one-on-one, discussing.
Never, one-on-one, because,
Just wanted to hear it.
that's right, because you don't tell the truth.
That statement was out of order. Now, anything else come before council?
I've got a question that came up with something you said. It's not about that either. It's about the agenda. You said he was looking the wrong place. Where is the right, is that in the part that's the meeting, council meeting procedure that y'all have got posted on the website? Oh, okay. I just thought maybe there's somewhere I hadn't seen. Thank you.
All of council, starting at RN. Anything?
Sunset looks great. I didn't realize how bad it looked until I got cut, so it looks really good. Have you been down there? It's amazing.
Visibility around that curve is awesome.
Yeah, I didn't realize how, I knew it was bad, but I didn't know how bad it was till it got cut, so it's a lot safer now for kids.
Thank you for mentioning that, I appreciate it.
I had a request for what used to be Tiger Lily. I think it's called Tony Brown's now. I don't know what the name of the business is. He refinishes furniture to do something with the fence. The fence is in bad shape, and people can go from other lots into the business. I went down there and talked to him about it from one of the residents, and he said something about he'd like to put a gate up, but I'd just like for it to be noted that I talked to him and I talked to the constituent about it. But I would like to see something done. The fence is in bad shape.
Is he gonna put the fence up, or Mr. Mayhew?
I don't know if he's gonna get Mr. Mayhew to, what he's concerned about is putting a gate up in the back to keep the stuff from being seen from the yard, because he's got a lot of furniture back there. But the neighbor wanted to know if he would repair all of the boards that are, there's big holes in that fence. That would be Mr. Mayhew's. I did not talk to him.
Right. Yeah, I would talk to Mr. Mayhew about the fence, because that is an improvement to his property that needs to be discussed with him.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it.
Close comments? No. Nothing else to come before council? Meeting to adjourn, motion to adjourn would be in order.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.